Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since I've done just a regular video without me doing an interview or anything, but I have a subject that I think is quite important and hasn't been talked about a whole lot. And that subject is on friendship. Now, as ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, finding friends can be difficult. Because when we were in the cult, we were told everybody's our friend. But yet at the same time, we had to be careful about those friends inside what was supposed to be our already set up, ready to go, you know, prepackaged friends that we're supposed to have in the congregation. Now that we've left the congregation and left that religion, what do we do for friends? Well, I'm going to dive into that a little bit. And to give a little bit of context to start off with, I'm going to read a little bit from an article here. It's off jw.org. And this is from the March 2009 Awake. um, and this is under the article here. It's called Do I Need Better Friends? Now, first of all, we're already talking about needing better friends in the congregation. And that right there is a red flag, really. Now let's see what it has to say here. Of course, it gives you some, praiseworthy traits about having friends who basically have the same moral principles as you and everything, which is all well and good. But coming down to the third bulletin point here, it says friendship factor number 3, a positive influence. And of course, whenever they give an example of a person, I don't trust that it's a true example, but let's see what it says here. It says a youth named Lauren says, my schoolmates accepted me as long as I did just what they told me to do. Oh, the irony of that statement, that her schoolmates only accepted her as long as she did what they told her to do. The irony is, Watchtower doesn't see how much that applies to them, and how Watchtower friends will only be your friends as long as you do what you are told to do. Now, here's some more irony for you. Under the next subheading here, it says what you can do. It says to cut off ties with those who insist that you change to conform to their lifestyle. Well, Watchtower, I couldn't have said it any better myself. When you're telling me to cut off ties with those who insist that I change and conform to their lifestyle, well, why not apply that to yourselves? Because you insist that people conform to your lifestyle and how you do things. So why don't we cut you off? The irony is just so strong in this article. Now, that's how Watchtower views friends. We've left. We're told again how everybody is our brother and sister in the organization. And then we leave. Now what? How do we find friends? What do we do? It's not easy. It really isn't, especially if you're an adult like me, you're married, have kids, you have work. You know, it's hard to establish new friendships when your life is so busy. Now, I found a great plethora of people on social media, and I have a lot of so-called friends, but I would only say about a handful of them are my true friends. And that's okay. I don't need to be best friends with everybody, and neither do you. Once you learn that, your friendships and your view on friendships will really evolve. I learned a lesson the hard way. I had somebody I thought was a friend, I'm not going to name names because that's not what I'm going to do. We had some disagreements, especially in the political arena, and our friendship broke off. And it's been over 2 years now. That was one of my first friendships outside from leaving Witnesses. I say that because I felt it was an important lesson because when you're out of the organization and you're learning who you are and who you want to invite into your life and who you don't, it's important to make mistakes because if you don't make mistakes, how will you learn? How will you know what's right for you if you're not willing to take that leap, make a mistake, and learn from that mistake? And that's the important part, learn from that mistake. And so, my advice to everybody is don't worry about being friends with everybody. If you want to be just a casual friend where, hey, we say, hey, once in a while, comment on each other's posts on Facebook or whatever. But outside of that, there's not a whole lot of conversation. Great. That's fine. If you want to be a friend of mine that's really close and we can confide in each other, and all that, that's fine too. But here's the biggest important thing, especially for those who are new to leaving the Jehovah's Witness organization. Do not think that just because we are all ex Jehovah's Witnesses, that we all have to be friends. And I can't stress that enough. Now, that being said, a lot of us are on YouTube. We want to do what we can to bring awareness to the watchtower and how bad its policies are, etc. That doesn't mean we can't be united on the same front, but that also doesn't mean you're instantly my best friend or instantly my friend because of a shared interest or a shared goal. There's a difference. We need to learn how to differentiate those differences, and that's very important. To do that, you have to know what you want out of a friend. And it's not always easy. Personalities have to align, interests, whether you held on to some religious beliefs or not, political. Now that's a whole nother ball game is the political side of things. We've varied greatly on all that, and that's okay. But learn where you align and what drives you. And then befriend, try to find people that align with those values as well. And that, again, that doesn't mean that just because that person does align with those values, they're going to be your friend either. So, take your time, be patient. It's a long process, it's hard. The organization has made it so difficult for us to make friends and to have a life outside of their bubble. And I'm not saying it's easy, you know, and some people are in more isolated areas than others. That's the beauty of the internet. We can reach out and talk and learn about one another and get to know each other because of video calls and phone calls and emails and instant messaging and all that. We have a lot of sources that we can use to make friends. That being said, as well, it's also good to have in person friends. One of the things I did in the area I moved to is I found a Facebook group that I like to be a part of, and they have events all the time. And now I'm not super active in it because I can't go to every single event they have because they have a lot. Let me tell you, they've got probably at least two things every week, if not more, going on. I can't make that many. That would be more than going to the meetings at the Kingdom Hall. But go when you can. And that's what I do. I go when I can. I enjoy the nights I can, and I don't worry about the rest. But having in person friends is just as important as well, because sometimes you want to have that contact, that person to go out and do things with and watch a movie, watch a TV show, whatever. And that's important as well. Another thing, and it's a big issue, is not everybody is outgoing. Not everybody is completely introverted. We all are different on those scales as well. So when I say all these things, I don't want anybody to think, hey, I need to push myself all the time and be out there and do this and do that. No, not at all. Do what's comfortable. It's good to push your comfort zone too, but do it in a way that's going to make you feel safe and feel included and not going to be socially isolated when you do finally make those friends. So that's all I have for today. I think this is a very important topic to cover. I don't see it enough. We've gotten a lot lately on the Watchtower and other things going on. This was just a complete diversion from that, but I think it's still just as important because if we can learn who we are friends with and can be friends with, we will be better suited as well to put up that united front when we're going against the Watchtower, because then we know we have a support system in place that we can fall back on. And especially so for those who are being shunned by their friends and their family within the organization, we need that kind of security blanket. We're social creatures. We need that social interaction. So if you can, find your friends, find yourself, and I wish everybody the best of luck in doing that. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. Please drop a like on the video and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.